Farmer discovers huge object in his backyard and is surprised by what it was. Jose Antonio Nievas is a farmer who decided to go out and enjoy his Christmas day by taking a walk with his dogs. Other than being Christmas, the day didn't seem any different from any other, but this day in 2015 was going to be very special indeed. Nievas' farm is roughly 25 miles south of Buenos Aires. During a stroll, Nievas passed a stream that was on his property when something caught his eye. He knew the stream, but this time he saw a huge rock that he'd never noticed before. When Nievas approached the rock, he realized that it was not, in fact, a rock. The object was caked with mud, so he couldn't figure out exactly what it was. He walked over to the object and began to clean the mud off with his hands until he suddenly had a real shock. Nievas tried to dig the object out of the ground for some time in an attempt to get a clear look at whatever it was. It quickly became clear that he would need some help moving the object from its location, so he called someone to help him. He quickly called his wife to tell her that he had found something remarkable and asked her to come and help him. She didn't believe him when he told her what he thought he had found and thought he was joking. "My husband went out to the car, and when he came back, he said, 'Hey, I just found an egg that looks like it came from a dinosaur,'" his wife said. "We all laughed because we thought it was a joke. However, it was no joke." His wife finally came to help him and soon realized that it was not, in fact, a dinosaur egg at all. The object was huge, however, and this made it even more puzzling. Nievas and his wife stared in confusion at what they had found, but soon they would learn truly what it was. The pair continued to work and try to excavate their discovery. They worked tirelessly and were careful not to damage or harm the object. Even so, the couple realized that the object was bigger than it seemed at first. They needed help. They knew they would need help, so they decided to call in the police for assistance. They hoped that they would identify it and hoped that the police could help them extract the object from the mud. None of them expected what would happen once the police did arrive. Hundreds of people gathered on the farm to see what the strange object might be by the time the police arrived on the scene. Even so, none of the onlookers, nor the police, could really identify what this thing was. The police were just as confused as Nievas and his family. No one could provide a suitable answer. Fortunately, Nievas' dog arrived at the site and started to behave strangely. This would ultimately provide a hint as to what it was that they had found. Jose's dog had made his way over to all the commotion and started exploring the area of the riverbed where the big, bizarre object was found. The curious dog started sniffing and barking at it, leading the human observers to realize that this was more than just an ordinary stone. The locals began offering their guesses about the strange mystery. Still, none of those who had flocked to Jose's farm to witness the extraordinary discovery could offer an explanation that seemed to fit. That's when the police decided that it was vital to take further action. At this point, the authorities decided to bring in specialized experts and called upon 2 local archaeologists who could hopefully explain the out-of-this-world discovery. As the archaeologists attempted to remove the mud and dig the giant egg-shaped item out of the riverbed, they realized just how huge and heavy it was. The group of excavators struggled to move the shell. The experts had to wade in the muddy water to dig around the gigantic and heavy object. They were finally able to extract it and carefully load it for transport to the lab, where additional research would provide an extraordinary answer.